Hello, girls, guys, or otherwise. This is Rich with your Christo-Pagan Sunday. Um, this week and next week, we are going through the canonical Gospels, or the canonical, if I can get that pronounced correctly, um, scriptures. And I will be using the Orthodox Study Bible. So if you have this, or if there is a difference in translation, do take note of that. I actually, I was, going through, and I'm like, okay, what can we talk about? And I said, you know what? Let's delve into the Beatitudes, especially since we have 2 weeks back to back, since this is a month with 5 Sundays. I decided to go through that, and we're going to break it up into two different parts. And apparently, I have a little fly in here, and it's going to be annoying to see that it going across the screen. But anyway, we're just going to get past that. This can be found in Matthew chapter 5, verses 3 through 6, and I already said that I will be reading from the Orthodox Study Bible. Um, the those are the ones that I'm going to be touching on today. Next week, we're going to go Matthew chapter 5, verse 7 through 10. So if you want to read ahead, that's your prerogative. Go for it. Do as you wish. So let's go ahead and go into this. I'm going to read. I have my little script here, all handwritten, all 3 pages, 3 pages, and a little bit extra on the fourth. So, yeah. We're just going to dive right into it and see what comes of it. Okay, and it reads, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be filled." Here we have 4 blessings, one for each of these 4 types of people: the poor in the spirit, those who mourn, the meek, and those who hunger and thirst for righteousness. We don't really get much explanation as to what these mean, who these individuals are, or what their qualities, what the qualities are of these individuals, what they have, and how we can obtain these blessings. As we tend to do, let's examine each part and peel back the intent of what's being said here. The first one being Matthew chapter 5, verse 3. Uh, Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. So, what is meant by the poor in spirit? Have you ever focused your gaze on someone who is poor? Maybe you were or are there now. Notice how they trust and have assurance that they will make do. Somehow, some way, they are going to make do. They are going to have food on the table somehow, some way. They work to sustain their life, but at the end of the day, their next meal, whether it is from the trash or a food bank, they have full trust that their need for hunger will be okay in the end, will be met in the end. These are people that have a reliance on whether it's deity, whether it's just being guided by intuition, what have you, that they will find what they need, they will get what they need in order to keep sustaining themselves and keep living within within this world, within this physical world. They have a trust. The point of this verse is calling us to have the heart of the pure, of the poor. This means to have and we have a Karen visiting us. This means we have to have a reliable knowing that your needs at their most basic form will be met. This is what many of us would call faith. So, what this means is, blessed are those who have faith. I want to urge that this can be faith in deity, guides, magic, or that you are following your life plan to become a better version of your own spiritual being. This doesn't necessarily have to be a faith in the deity of the Bible. As I've pointed out plenty of other times, I do believe that the Bible has more than just the Christianized version to ascertain from this. One reason it's Christo-Pagan Sunday, not Evangelical Sunday. So let me have a drink here. Not sponsored by Coke. Yeah, Coca-Cola, or yeah, Coca-Cola. If you want me to hawk your shit, let me know. Refreshing. So yeah, if you want me to hawk your shit, get at me. All the stuff in the dibbly-doo. Moving on. The next verse says, "Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted." This is not the mourning over the death of another. This is the mourning over the state of the world. These are the ones that mourn over people's suffering. These are people who try to alleviate the suffering of others by means of their acts, their spell workings, or intentions. These individuals will be comforted. In this context of comfort, it's not about everything being okay. It's about securing comfort on the other side. This is a comfort of respite from or on the other side. So whenever we finally get to that point, you would gain comfort. You would be comforted and you would be relaxed. You would have that time of respite before you go on to either a next life or, wherever you go. The third verse says, "Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth." The word meek in this verse is key. Meek is a state of being docile or submissive. This doesn't necessarily mean that you are weak as it is being used here, or as it's commonly used. The meek in this verse refers to those who subdue their passions. These are the ones who control their anger and keep their emotions in check. These are the ones who will sit during an argument and be completely at peace until the end. Then, after the person is done with their argument, they speak a few choice words that shuts down the entirety of the argument. It isn't about winning or losing. It's about being passive and not worrying about the outcome of an argument that doesn't matter. It is about knowing that there is something more important than a petty ego boost. Again, we have a promise. This time, it is to inherit the earth. This again isn't something that you get on this side of life. This is a spiritual realm that they will inherit. For those who meet this definition of meek, they are uniquely stationing themselves as guides. And this is my reading on it. This isn't necessarily canon, but I believe that they are uniquely stationing themselves as being guides. These are the ones who will guide further incarnations to follow their life path and become their best selves. So these are the ones that will help guide you in your life. They were the ones that were meek, the ones that were able to subdue their passions, and they have shown a patience in their way of thinking, in their way of reaction, that they can now be a guide to another person. This doesn't mean that they are completely done with their life process or their learning process in future incarnations. This just means that they are uniquely suited to be a guide for somebody else. They don't get easily frustrated. They don't really have an ego for ego's sake. They are more about what is right and not really being in your face about it, but about being that calm, quiet voice that will continuously hammer home what you need to do rather than shout at you. They are the ones that are pillars. So they make themselves useful as guides. The last verse that we are looking at today says, "Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be filled." These are people who always want to know more of the divine. They are the ones who are constantly wanting to know more of the spiritual. These individuals are reading all they can, watching content from multiple creators from various religious views, and constantly seeking who or what the divine is and how they fit into the grand scheme. We are told that these individuals will be filled. This strikes me, since we were just discussing this in the Nag Hammadi scriptures last week. We are to be filled with the Spirit, since then we can fill others. I want to say that in closing of this, I see many of these qualities in my fellow Christo-Pagans. Many of us have faith that we will be provided for our needs, whether by our own workings in spell work or by the divine's will. Many Christo-Pagans I know are mournful for suffering of others and the suffering of our four-legged people, the animals. Many Christo-Pagans try to subdue their passions by being ones who are slow to anger and allow the free flowing of thought, even whenever it takes the turn of controversial disagreement. They are constantly searching for the divine anywhere they can find it. With that all being said, I do want to invite you, if you are finding meaning in this, leave a comment down in the comment section below. That's pretty much all that I have for this week. If you are not yet subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. It's right down there. It doesn't cost you a thing. It costs me everything. Leave a thumbs up if you like these videos. If you dislike these videos, leave a thumbs down. Comment why, of course, because it all appeases the algorithmic gods of YouTube. All hail the algorithmic gods of YouTube. With all that being said, I will see you all on Tuesday for our Tarot Talk Tuesday, and then Wednesday we are still going through our what are we calling the series? The ritual series and the steps in ritual and whatnot. So join me for those Table Talk Thursdays on, you guessed it, Thursday, and on Saturday for our Witchy Book Club series. We are doing chapter 13 of the Outer Temple of Witchcraft in 3 parts, I do believe. We'll see. We'll see if we can make it into, probably gonna be closer to 3, to be honest. With all that being said, may you have love, hugs, and ladybugs. Bye-bye.